I'm be posting the entire contents of this presentation, my portion of it, on our ICRC.com website. So you can download it at your convenience if you want to take a lot of notes that way. I'd like to begin by introducing the members of the Provisional Committee that are present here today. If you please stand when I mention your name. Bill Hathaway. Back there. Bob Davis, that's me. Herbert Fox Brown. Jeff Reddy. Jerry Titus. Jim Martindale is in China right now. Joyce Morell. Lynette Sherrill. And posthumously, Paul Caudell, who passed away a few weeks back. Melissa Lineberry, Phil Schmidt, Tim Kearns, and Tina Strack. I count it a privilege to have worked with all these dedicated patriots over the last year. Thank you. I think I will need these lights in order to read. Thanks. We were trying to make it look better on the screen. Here's we're going to be stuck doing it this way. I should have picked a more contrast in my text up there. This afternoon, we have a presentation of what the committee's been up to over the last year. And this meeting will be a presentation, and it'll differ from future meetings in that we're going to be doing things a little differently in order to get everything done within the 2 hours that we have available to us. To facilitate this, we've got note cards and pencils and stuff that were out there that you can take and make notes on. If you need to get any of those, please do that. We'll collect any questions you have at the end, if that'll facilitate questions and answers in that way. If you have any questions that we can't get to within our time limit, we will post those on the internet for you later. All future meetings of the Indiana Constitutional Republic Caucus will be held in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order. Most of you know that we are the Ron Paul delegates to the Republican Indiana Convention. After the Republican Party broke all their own rules to silence us, we felt it would be a mistake to allow the momentum of the movement to stop there. We began meeting immediately using the delegate committee as the provisional committee for the ICRC. The membership has changed a bit through the year, but the core group still remains. Just changed the batteries in that too.
Uh-oh.
Our primary purpose, our goal is to return our state and nation to the constitutional rule of law through the election of constitutionalist legislators by an educated electorate. Our method to educate and certify candidates for the task and support them with funds and workers to succeed at the polls. Where candidates are not forthcoming, we'll raise them from within our midst. As we already mentioned today, we want you to run for office. We're not interested in supporting any candidate that will not honor his or her oath of office to protect and defend our Constitution. We don't want to see any political race without a constitutionalist candidate as a choice. No more choices between the lesser of two evils. We currently spend a great deal of time trying to stop bad legislation. We write letters to Congress, letters to the editor, we sign petitions, all in an effort to prevent bad law. We go from one attack to the next in a constant battle to hold on to our constitutional rights. One day we fight for guns, to keep gun registration and gun restrictions out. The next day we're trying to fight for our ability to buy vitamin supplements. Constitutionalist legislators would prevent these attacks from being considered and would work to turn around the bad laws, putting the robbers of freedom on the defensive in both the State House and the U.S. Congress. The Campaign for Liberty is set up as an educational organization and cannot directly support candidates. The ICRC has no such limitation. The Campaign for Liberty has educational materials that we will make use of, but currently they have no testing procedure for potential candidates. We will have. In order to become a sister organization with the CFL, we would be required to become a 401c4 like them. and that would keep us from supporting particular candidates. It is pivotally important that we remain separate for this reason. Why the name change? We'd initially intended to name the organization the Indiana Conservative Republican Caucus. Our goal to reach all the citizens with the message of freedom through the Constitution forced us to reconsider this. Using Republican could turn off any Democrats that we might encounter. The potential elimination of such a large group of Hoosiers demanded that we make a change. The Indiana Constitutional Republic Caucus is less polarizing, and it is in itself somewhat educating, since we are indeed a constitutional republic and not a democracy as the schools and media would have us believe. Since we're not a party, we're not limited to supporting just Republicans. The late Congressman Larry McDonald was one of the most conservative congressmen ever served, and he was elected on the Democratic ticket. If the current Republican candidate is well supported by the Republican Party, yet he's found wanting in his support of the Constitution, we could seek out the nomination of another party to oppose him with a true constitutionalist. Would anyone here be offended if a majority vote to bring us back to constitutional limits comes from both Democrats and Republicans? Ron Paul taught us that the statesman, not the political party, is what really matters. If I had my preference, we wouldn't hold the name of either party, since both have soiled themselves with treachery and treason. However, the success at the polls with constitutionalists is our true goal. A successful outreach is needed for us to win this battle, to save our state and nation. Education on the U.S. Constitution will always bring about support of the Constitution. Today, we will present methods to improve our ability to convince others of the timeless nature of the Constitution, as well as how it still protects our liberties if it's enforced. We'll begin discussing ways to improve our ability to educate neighbors, co-workers, friends, and family. We'll talk about tactics to improve our ability to push proper legislation and to resist unconstitutional bills. Our organization is dedicated to the protection of Indiana from dangerous legislation, as the Kernan-Shepard report would support. We will be vigilant and ready to respond to these attempts to take our elected officials and replace them with appointees. Political power is the power to be influential with the largest number of voters. We intend to be a significant influence through smarter activism and focused efforts by well-educated and informed members. With only a small group of delegates to the Indiana Republican Convention, we decided who the next Attorney General would be, to the chagrin of our governor.